I just bounce around between Twitter notifications and Reddit inbox and YouTube, and it's pretty much always the same thing. These past couple days, it's like state of the world stuff, the ongoing Gaza genocide and the various consequences of billionaire rule, and how all the distraction techniques are working even among people. Like my timelines and stuff are curated, and it's people who really mean well and are well informed and stuff, yet 70% of them clearly believe that voting is a thing. They clearly show up to work on time, judging from the niceness of their videos and houses and photographs and whatnot. And I still just feel completely and totally alien. Like, I especially don't understand why people keep going to jobs that are obviously torturing them. I mean, there's a lot of people who can't quit, and I get that, but there are a lot of people who can, and I just got to ask the question, if a job is worse than not having a job, why not general strike? Why not just quit your job and tell everybody, I quit my job because I am now on strike until this? I kind of wish people would do that anyway. Like if they think that they're going to get fired, just quit in advance. And while you're searching for a new job, because it will take forever to find one, if you ever find one, tell people you're on strike. That's your new job. Get online and be like, this is what it's like on strike. I can't do that because I'm disabled and unemployed. Or, depending on how right-wing you are, I'm a horrible, lazy person who needs to be flogged and shot for being poor. So I can't do that. I can't be like I'm on general strike. Though in a sense I am. I mean, it's not like I'm out looking for something I know doesn't exist, but at the same time, I know it doesn't exist, so why would I bother, right? So it would be a meaningless gesture for me. I need to learn to mute that before I start a video. But I just wanted to make a video because actually I got some new subscribers on Substack, and I don't have a paid tier for two big reasons. First of all, my content's not worth it. Nobody cares. It's low effort. I'm just being honest about what I think and how I see things. I'm not doing editing and shit. I'm not doing a script. I feel like all that stuff is fake, so I don't do it. And that's the main thing. It would be, but at the same time, I'm also just not allowed to have income. I mean, it would be illegal for me to have income. What would happen is I would lose my food card and I would lose my Medicaid. And, that's another thing about people I don't understand. It's like, you guys are working, right? You're going to your job for your money, but that the minute you get sick, you're going to get $100,000 bill and your insurance won't save you and you're going to lose everything you have. I just don't understand people. I mean, you see these things coming and you're not doing anything about it. I don't know. Even when you have the resources. And again, I realize a lot of people can't do anything about it, but some of you can. A lot of you can. I don't know, man. But yeah, so I got some free subscribers and I feel bad about not having some content and everything. But then again, I don't like to repeat myself. I do, right? But it's organic. I'm not intentionally repeating myself. I'm not being like, oh, it's Wednesday at 5 p.m. I better put out a video, that kind of thing. I don't do that. And I'm not trying to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. It's like, I learned a really important lesson from my very first job. When I was 17, I got a job at the movie theater. And 1 through 16 me thought that would have been the coolest thing in the world. Like, it just didn't occur to me that the reality would be even a job that's good sucks because if they have to pay you to do it, it's not fun. I mean, it really doesn't matter what it is. If you're in a lucky position, you know, and you're able to do something, if you have to do it, if you're being forced to do it, you're not going to enjoy it. It's going to suck. And, you know, that was an important lesson. It's like there is no dream job. The idea of do what you love, that's 100% billionaire propaganda. You know, I don't know. I just wanted to talk to people a little bit because it's the same thing. And I still feel totally alone. And I want to know, and I'm not being like, I'm sad because I'm so lonely. I'm saying I don't understand why there aren't more people that get the basic things. I feel like it's a basic thing now. You can just search and find it. Voting isn't a thing. I mean, the people my age or older, how come they didn't notice by now that every time they vote, it doesn't matter? Like, they've been through multiple presidents. They know that it just keeps getting worse. It's keep billionaires getting their way and everybody else being screwed. It's like $4 trillion or something during COVID, upward, away from us. You know, it's like wage hasn't gone up since the 70s. Buying power hasn't gone up. It's just all this stuff. And it's an endless parade of death. And it's like, I saw a TikTok today and they were like pointing out, you know, we're all in a global economy. So slavery in Africa is endorsing your Netflix in America. And that's right to an extent. But it annoyed me because the guy like apparently thought that talking to a video camera it's like he's making his own contradiction. It's like his point is nobody's insulated, right? But at the same time, he's implying that he's insulated. It's like, oh, I'm telling people, so I'm insulated. It's like, I'll say right now, me making this video, speaking the truth to the internet, doesn't mean shit. I'm still, the one thing that really means shit that you can do is not give them any money. And that's really the only thing I have. That's the only argument I have in favor of my own value at this point, is the fact that I am not contributing to the bombs in Gaza. I'm not contributing to some billionaire having a yacht. I'm a drain, you know, and I'm a useless eater, and I'm the thing that they want to kill totally. That's why I have to work really hard about what I eat and staying alive. I mean, it's like it really is work. It's knowledge work. You have to doing nutrition. Like I can't get exercise because I can't afford to go to a gym, and it's dangerous to be outside because of cars and, you know, no such thing as sidewalks and all this other shit. So it takes effort to survive. I feel like I'm using my abilities just to live, you know, and it wouldn't be enough if it wasn't for family at least giving me a place to sleep and, you know, electricity and internet and things. So I don't know. I get off on a tangent and I forget where I was going. Sorry about that. I mean, you know, I could redo the video and do an edit and everything, but I just don't want to do that. I just want to feel like I'm not the only one who gets it. But people, man, they just don't seem to get it. They keep arguing about Trump versus Biden and all these things and trying to, like the guy trying to get out of things. And he thinking he's separate from it. And it's like, I'm not. We're not. Like, the only thing you can do is quit. Quit your fucking job. Seriously, just quit. If you can possibly do it, do it. I mean, no matter what you do, if it's contributing to the economic flow of labor, you know, conversion of natural resources into explosives used on children, that's your legacy. I don't care if you're a caterer or an Uber driver, you're helping. You know, like you can't pick your customers, first of all. Virtually no one can. And even the small business owners that try, they'll get in trouble. Somebody was talking about, you know, forms of activism and reform and stuff. And while I applaud the effort, I have to point out that if it's legal, it will become illegal if it starts to harm them. They don't care what I'm saying to this camera. They don't care if it gets 1 million views. They can co-opt, threaten, kill, jail anybody. And context alters meaning. And they own all the media, so they can add all the context. People are trickable. People are hackable. You know, it's like going to a magic show. Knowing that the rabbit is not actually coming out of the hat doesn't save you from perceiving the illusion of a rabbit emerging from a hat. Okay? And that's just the basic principle that these people have mastered. They will guide you and twist you, and I'm sure I'm the same. I'm sure that there's stuff that I say that serves the billionaires and is wrong, and I'd probably be fact immune to. Like if somebody were to prove it to me, I'd probably be fact immune. You know, I'm no different. I'm just another person. And in that sense, I know I'm not alone. But at the same time, I feel like there's a radical shortage of people who simultaneously understand a couple of things. And I've never really been able to make a list, and I really probably should, like sit down and make a list of those things that are check boxes that tell me, you know, it's like, well, you get it or you don't. But I guess just to start off with, it's like if you think we have a government, you're wrong. Like I'm constantly having to share the link to my post. Government doesn't exist. And what I mean by that, as I've explained before, is that we don't have a body that responds to popular will setting policy. That's what a government is. Now, people can say, well, a monarchy is a government. It's like, yeah, those are forms of government, but I'm just including the word legitimate. It's like a government, a monarchy can be a legitimate government if that monarch is genuinely, to the best of his ability and to an effective degree, helping his people or her people, you know. And it's like, when a government is totalitarian and exploitative, that's not a government. You know, it's like when a dictator is just like everybody else's slave so that he can have a gold-plated everything. That's not a government. That's, you know, whatever it is, you know, name it something else. And America is like that. We don't have a policy organization in this country. We have billionaires. It's corporate rule. I don't know if it's ever going to be open corporate rule. I think it might have to be at some point. What will happen is the government will completely default on its debt, and the only way to avoid, you know, not being picked apart by creditors is to be seized by those creditors. And it'll just be like, yeah, we're USG Inc. now. Maybe they'll do something like the post office. They'll be like, yeah, it's now a company and a government. You know, but something like that is going to happen, you know, because we'll have CBDCs, we'll have to have basic income because we'll have AI doing all the jobs, and we'll have the consequences of the crashing birth rate and everybody. I mean, it's just going to be a mess. And I guess that's another thing I could talk about is how I'm not trying to, like, I'm doing some composting and stuff to maybe grow broccoli or whatever. But I mean, I'm not convincing myself that I'm homesteading or that I'm going to survive, you know, the collapse of society. I'm not trying to be, you know, in a woods and stuff. That's not going to happen. If society implodes, I'm going with it. I'm chained to the deck of this Titanic. I would love to not be, but at the same time, if that meant living in the woods, I wouldn't do that either. You know, it's like, it's like, would I go back in time and live in the 17th century as a peasant? And it's like, no, for the same reason, I'm not going to, you know, try and live off the land here in the midst of Mad Max. I mean, it's like, I'll do what I have to do to survive in the short term, just because that's human nature. You know, I'll fight my death until I can no longer fight my death. But it's not going to, I'm not going to make a huge effort to survive if it really looks like my survival is just going to be more Mad Max existence. You know, it's kind of like the same reason I never had kids. It's like I always said, even in grade school, because I saw poor kids and I wasn't, and I was grateful for what I had. And I remember thinking even then, it's like, I'm not going to do this on purpose. I'm not going to have a kid that's just going to suffer because I'm poor. No, not going to do it. And Fortunately, I had that, I guess, or unfortunately, I guess. I mean, I guess it depends because basically everybody I know that had kids had them accidentally. And it's not like they're sad about it, you know? It's like it happened and it happens to everybody and they cope. People just survive whatever's in front of them, I guess. And maybe I'd have been better off if I'd have accidentally knocked somebody up. But I kind of feel like no. I kind of feel like on a pain pleasure axis, injected, subtracted from the universe, I did well by not. But at the same time, I can't help but immediately think of the opening to Idiocracy. You know, I'm a smart guy. I'm a nice guy. I feel like my cat likes me. You know, I'm not abusive or anything. So I, I feel like I'd have been a decent dad. I have excellent role models. My parents were amazing. You know, their only problems were ever economic. Uh, I don't know, man. I'm just rambling. I just really, it just keeps coming back into my mind about how I can't. I want people to realize that they can't vote their way out of this, so that when they find themselves in that corner, like when they find themselves sitting somewhere and really believing my vote doesn't matter, I'm not in charge, this isn't a democracy. So what can I do? You know, I want them to do that, to come up with a feeling of I need to find something else to do. And maybe that's writing letters. I mean, we had pamphleteers. They're famous parts of the revolutionary story in American history. You know, the passing out a pamphlet is a thing. We joke, but standing on a street corner talking to people is a thing. Maybe that's enough. You know, certainly just quit your job, general strike, laying flat, maybe malicious compliance. There's a million things you can do that are better than voting. And so long as we believe we can vote our way out of this, people will dump all their energy into that. And I swear, guys, it's just as pointless as football fandom. It literally doesn't matter. And I'm not saying duopoly, I'm saying voting, period. We've had thousands of political parties in this country. Yeah, now it's basically boiled down to two, but we used to have a bunch of different ones. And it didn't matter then either. It never mattered. Washington was always the richest guy in the colonies. Only certain people could vote. And that's why they let women vote. That's why they let blacks vote, because they realize it doesn't matter. It keeps people from revolting. We learned, you know, it's like the New Deal, you know, that was not about doing good for the people out of the goodness of their heart. It was about avoiding a civil war. And they've learned. They've learned what to do, what not to do, what they can do and can't get away with. The prisons are not in riot. That tells you everything you need to know. And we are not surrounding the prisons demanding the doors be opened. That also tells you what you need to know. They have our number, guys. And the only way to change that is it's an information exchange. We have to understand where we are. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to get people to realize where they are. But at the same time, it's mostly just a narcissistic activity, I guess, because like I said, I mean, there's no undoing what we've done. We're genociders now. We're the Nazi Germans. More kids have died in Gaza per day than died at the peak of Auschwitz. Okay? It's over. It's done. We did it. We didn't stop it. We're obviously not gonna stop it. And they're just about to kick everybody into Egypt. And that's just done. So there's that. And also, like I said, the AI is coming. It's either going to eat us, save us, or enslave us. I mean, I don't know. So maybe I am just talking to myself. But to the free people, you know, the people who joined my Substack, I appreciate that. It's nice to feel like somebody is looking forward to something I have to say. It would be neat if I had like 100,000 people, and then I could like turn on paid subscriptions and then, suddenly have enough money to jump the poverty gap to go from the zero income I have to maintain to keep food card and Medicaid to suddenly I can afford stuff and start repairing things, helping my family instead of living off of them. That would be wonderful. I miss warm running water. I miss having a washer and dryer. But it's like it is with literally everyone else. It could be worse. It's like there's no situation so bad that it can't be made worse. So we're all in that same boat. I'm just in a higher quality cabin, I guess. So thanks, and comment your thoughts. I don't know. Yeah.